Okay, Twitch. Here we go. Good. Hello everyone. We are going to have fun today. We are going to be implementing for our text editor split views. So this is just Emacs. But in Emacs and possibly elsewhere, you get the option to have a view where you do your stuff and then maybe split it again. Now we have two views where you do stuff and they both react to mouse and they both react to keyboard. Yeah, this is like because they point to the same buffer, but let's just, I don't know, just save this. See, they both react to keyboard, they both react to mouse. And you know what? You can even split them further and further. And this all just magically works everywhere. So, you know what? Because I want to soon start working on the compilation buffer for my editor, I realized I need at least some rudimentary version of the split view. So we are going to be doing split view. With that, let's see. Let's check voice levels. Voice levels seem to be okay. Cameras on, that's good. Okay, OBS, we don't need you anymore. In the foreground. And we can revert all of this and start doing the thing. So when we go to the editor code base, let's see first if we compile, but I think we should. I don't think I left it in a bad state. Okay, it compiles. Does it run though? Okay, seems to run. Okay, so this is the state we are starting with. So we basically have just a single view. There's actually a separate view down here, but that's a little bit of a special case because that's like present everywhere. So I don't know how far we'll get in this stream, but the general goal is to have at first a split view which is split horizontally. So we'll get a vertical divider here. And once we have that, we can decide whether we want to tune it further by allowing arbitrary horizontal and vertical splits of the current view, or whether we are okay with a simpler version. Personally, when using Emacs, I almost always just do the simple version, so I don't know. Like, it might be that we just don't bother with the tiling thing. Okay. Before we start proper, let me pour some coffee so that my brain doesn't go dead in the middle of the stream. Very good coffee. Okay. Yeah, that's that basically. So in the code, we have a thing where So there's this editor struct, which basically holds all the state that's related to the editor. And there's some stuff in it. There's like an arena for all the stuff that stays around for a long time. There's an arena, then there's a font thing. There's like all sorts of buffered state for the input. There's a key map. There's like a list of files we're watching. Now, as we go down, we find a collection of documents. So what I call a document is basically anything that you can edit. So in Emacs, this would be a buffer, I believe. I actually don't remember the Emacs terminology. Never mind. I think in Emacs is a buffer. So currently there's just one type of a document, which is a text document. Well, that's actually not true. There's also, let me show you. This is also a text document, but it's a very special one. It's called Scratch, and you just have it open when the editor launches, but you can also like open, I don't know, like a binary file in a separate one. And then you can open another file here, and then you can like switch between these three here, right? Okay. But basically, not discounting Scratch, all the documents currently are synchronized with a backing file somehow, and they try to view the thing as text. Both of these are going to change later, so there will be like hex views of binary files, and there will be there's gonna be like this compilation document which is like you launch a process with a compiler, and it prints to its standard output the compiler errors, and then you can navigate the document and like use it to jump to places in your code and stuff like that. But we are not there yet. Anyway, this was documents, and then we have panels, and there's, as you can see, there's like comments about panel splitting and fixing all the places in the code that rely blah 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 blah. So basically there's just one panel for now, even though this is an array. This array only has always just one panel. This is because I almost started implementing this feature a couple months ago, and then I decided like, oh wait, no, we have to have more useful stuff on other fronts before this is even a thing. So I think now it's going to become a thing, because the thing we will be doing after this is the compilation buffer, which is this thing. And the compilation buffer is kind of useless without you having split panels. So now it's time to do it. Okay. Yeah, basically what I said. Well, okay. I think it's gonna be easier if we hardcode this a little bit at first, and not do like a generic data structure of the tree that we're splitting. So maybe let's have like a left panel index and a right panel index. Maybe we sort of want to know also whether it even is split. Probably. Yeah, this is all like very, very hard codey for now, and it's it's not gonna be like that very soon. Okay, so we have these indices, and then maybe let's do let's do what? Okay, for now I'll just call this panels are split. We'll see. Easy enough, easy enough. This is totally good enough for 2 panels, and if we ever need to do something generic, we'll just figure out the data structure as we go. All right. So this should still compile. I just created a couple of new fields, so no biggie there. No biggie there. I'm thinking this is maybe not just the left panel index, but if there's... Oh, see, I see. So currently there's like the active panel. Okay. Well, let me show you what I'm thinking. So the active panel index in the code, this one, it determines what's being shown here, even if we have multiple things open. So I can like open a gitignore thing and stuff like that. So this switch to document command switches the active panel index basically. Now, I think what we are actually need to have is an active panel index per view. Let's see. Maybe we just have like a left or main view, which is a view, and then we have a right view. Well, main panel index, right panel index. It's not a view, it's just S64. Okay, now I think this one can start as 0. I'll just type it there to be explicit. And for now, I believe we are going to do that. The other one is going to control the split. So if it's -1, we know the other one, the left or main, is the one covering the whole window. If this is not -1, something. Give me a sec. I need to handle something. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Okay. Before we go any further, maybe let's think a little bit about how it would look like. How it would look like if we did the generic thing here. So Maybe let's open a drawing app for that. Okay. So we have a screen and we can subdivide it however we see fit. Maybe like this. So this is basically a tree, right? There's the top node, which is the entire thing. Well, this is basically a quad tree even, you could say. Well, I think it's a KD tree, but yeah, something like this. So we could totally store a tree-like structure like this in an array. Where a node would say the split type and indices for children. Okay, I kind of like this. So initially I was like, oh no, let's just do the default thing, but now that I think about it, it's like the generic thing doesn't seem more complicated than that. Maybe this, but it seems enticing to just try and go for the generic thing directly instead of doing this middle ground. No, let's do the middle ground. Okay, so in here, let's just type in some invariants. So if -1, the view is not split. Otherwise, we have a, oh, this is a horizontal or vertical split. I actually have no idea how the terminology works there. What does Emacs say? Split window right. We have a horizontal split then. Okay, split. And this should contain a valid panel index. Okie doke. Should be a valid panel index. Sounds good to me. I sort of don't like that we initialize it to -1. I prefer 0 initializing stuff, but hey, 0 is a valid index, so I mean, we could always do like a dummy panel. I don't know. The problem is I'm not like super well trained in the ZII style, so it's not like second nature to me to create dummy 0 elements in all collections just so that I can 0 initialize everything. I think I'm gonna be okay with this exception here. I think we need more coffee. All right. That's it for the coffee. So, if I'm not mistaken, this should create all sorts of compilation errors for us. Which, because this is Jai, we don't get to see them all, but it's fine. Well, for now we used to have active panel index, which served actually two purposes. It served the thing that this is our main view, as well as this is the panel that occupies the view. And now this has to be like two things. Well, let's see if we can disentangle that somehow. So in here, get active panel. Well, what is an active panel? I see. This is for usually doing keyboard centric stuff, where let's demonstrate this on Emacs. So one of these two is always the active one, and whatever we do with keyboard just goes there. So if I switch the thing, it's now here. So this is what get active panel is for. The thing is that now that we have multiple views, we sort of cannot overload it to do multiple things. And let's see if we actually do overload it. There must be at least one active panel. This is probably, that's fine. Wrote event. Yeah, this is all good. Question is, do we get it elsewhere? Yes, we do, but this is all keyboard driven. This is keyboard driven, I think. So is this, so is this, so is this. Even here we get it. What for? I guess it makes sense. Okay. So it doesn't seem like it's terribly misused, which is good. So now what we need to do is make sure it returns the correct panel. I'm sort of considering renaming this to something like get panel from active view, because this is now more what it's doing. And then we have a way of knowing which view is active. I think I'm gonna go for it. So this will cause more errors that we'll have to fix later. But first, we go to the document here and document to the editor itself. So this tells us the panel indices, but we need to have an active view index. And this, I guess later, this definitely isn't just How do we do this? Maybe this thing can encode whether we are currently split. So something like this. And then we do active view enum wait, because why not? So let's say full left right screen is not split into multiple views. The screen is split horizontally and the left view is active. And I guess analogously for the other one. I think I like this a little more because this then can be 0 initialized and do the correct thing. So this active view, that's good. Well, we can even view panel index, right view panel index. And these can now be safely 0 initialized because we pulled the discriminant somewhere else. I'm considering also, like, is this worth it, having it in a single variable or not? I think either way it's gonna cause some problems, but I'm maybe this is just a little bit nicer. And then these are used based on what the active view is. Okay, makes sense. Now, what we can do now is we go over the code and what did we call it? Active. Panel 4. Oh wait, it's not in this file. Get active. Get panel 4 active view. Okay, so now this thing would be, let's just call this panel. Now okay, index is editor full view. Well, we can do maybe just this thing. If editor active view is case full, index is editor full view panel index. if it's left, we take it from the left, and for right, we take it from the right. All right. So now we have an index. This is panel. Starts as null. That's okay. If we have anything, clamp, well, here we just say index. I guess we can shadow it, it's fine. Just get it out, return. So now we account for which view is actually active when we're getting the panel. This sort of makes sense, but it's not going to be enough. Well, maybe. Get panel for active view. Let me just copy this because we are going to be pasting it in a couple of places. All right. It's just a few more. Isn't it cool that it compiles so fast that I can basically just drive my editing experience like this? Let's paste this and this. Okay, maybe I should have done a mass replace. I thought there's gonna be less of them. How many are left? It's literally the last one, okay. And now we compile again, and I believe we should basically still also run and completely run, because we never changed the value there. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. We can close these guys. Now, what do we do here? What do we do here? I guess let's have a possibility of not having a full view. So for that we can just define a thing. I think it's called an action. Interaction. Okay, so this is text editing. That's sort of panel things, but then okay, let's consider editing. I guess we just, I don't know, these are not necessarily ordered semantically very well, so you can just, I guess, append and make the sorting even worse. Okay, split view horizontally, yes, what's going to be called. Now key map add. Which key map though? There's a couple. We are gonna start reacting to this. Okay, this is the iterator. Key map is what we want. Okay, so we say key map add cx3 because this is what Emacs has. Split view horizontally. Now, this usually gets routed to a panel. I'm wondering if this is okay. I think it is. I mean, short term it doesn't matter because there's either the full screen or there's just the left right split. But long term we always want to split the one we are currently in. So it's okay to route it to the one we are currently in. I think that's okay. So okay, cx3. Now when you go to route event to panel, we can start reacting to this. So it's split view horizontally. Okay. So I guess we are only gonna do something if editor active view is full. Right, no check-in. We are gonna fill this in a bit, but maybe let's also before that define something we'll call join view. We don't define horizontally or vertically here because at some point it's just gonna be joining wherever we are, and it can be either horizontally or vertically. So when we go to the key map thingy, I think this is the one, and this is, I believe, no. Okay, I know what shortcut it is. I just had to remind myself. 0 is join view. Case join view. The view is not full. We do something. Okay, now what is it that we actually do here? I guess we copy some fields. So we say at the end of the thing is active view is, well, if we, yeah, it's always gonna be the left one, I think. Okay, thank you Emacs for not doing what I want. It's gonna be left. Then editor. How is this thing called? Full view panel index, left view panel index. Okay. Left view panel index is editor. Full view panel index. Yeah, we'll just copy those. Okay. And I guess this is active view is full at the end, and we just say well, okay, let's if complete this. So for full, we don't do anything. Then for the left, we are gonna say editor full view panel index is editor left view panel index and this, and for right we are gonna say something similar. Only we'll inherit from the right instead. It sounds okay. I would just maybe for now also say editor log. Splitting view. Joining view. Active left. Active right. Okay, let's maybe test this. Of course, this is gonna be like all sorts of broken. And I just think it just basically won't work at all. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it will. Maybe it will. So we compile and we run. So we haven't split anything yet. Now we say splitting view. Okay, because we inherited the top to the left and we are currently in left, we actually still correctly route everything, which is sort of nice. We can join view from the left and we still have everything active because the whatever was active becomes active at the top. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, so basically this, we still haven't broken anything, which is good. But I don't think we can avoid it much longer. Now, I think we need one more action, which is going to be, well, what is it called in Emacs, I wonder? Other window it's called. I don't think we'll call it that, but that's fine. I don't see the chat phone. I wonder if I can move this a little further and if it's going to be okay for audio still. Is it okay for audio? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Let me also adjust this thing ever so slightly. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It was a little bit too much in my face. I don't know. Maybe this is now too quiet. I hope it's not. I hope it's alright. Okay. So go back into the background. Okay. Let's see. Editor action. I don't know. Maybe let's just call it go to next view. And in here we say CXO is go to next view. And down here, case go to next view. I guess we might as well just do an if complete there as well. So nope, if full, I guess that makes sense. I guess left goes to right. String active view from left to right. Whatever, these will go away probably. This will go left. Switching active view from right to left. Now with this command implemented, I think we'll start noticing some things don't work. Okay, I'm probably fat fingered something and messed stuff up. Let's figure out what I did. Okay, must have been here. Oh, I just did this. Okay. Now we can split view. This still works. Now we can go to the left to right. This still works. Oh, because they are the same index. I see. So the thing is here. Both left and right actually inherit from the top. So we'd have to try harder to break it. It will come. I promise you it will come. Okay, I wonder when we switch to a different document, what do we actually do? Where's the confirm? Active panel. Oh, we just set panel document. So the thing itself is unchanged. I think let me I have to remind myself how we do certain things. So this sets panel document, that's fine, but how? I guess it would be cool if we started at least doing some rendering things. Okay, this is the okay, this is not that great. It goes over all the panels and does stuff, but I mean, we sort of wanted to do, where does it even end? We sort of wanted to do update for everything, but only render what's really active. Also, I kind of don't like that this was supposed to be the data structure, and we built all sorts of things around it, which, well, not now. This definitely seems redundant. But maybe it's fine. Let's see what's actually inside panel. Oh, there's stuff. But basically there should be like 2 panels at most. This is not gonna be true eventually, but this still is like the view thing. No, I guess this is like, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I'm thinking about how this evolves into the future, and it's gonna look a little weird now, and I think it's gonna look less weird once we actually get to the full thing, which is like this will define all sorts of visual stuff for the contents of the panel, and then the view structure that we built around it is actually the layout of these panels on the whole screen. That I think sort of at least makes sense, so it's okay, maybe. So okay, back here then. Oh, because yeah, like these two can point to the same thing. Can they? Should they? No, I don't think they should. So basically, currently, and I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but when we do split view horizontally, So if we're at full, we should basically assert panels count is 1. I see. So we know we have 1. We are gonna say right panel is array at other panels, and now we have to initialize it. Now left view panel index should basically be 0. This should be 1. Active view is left. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense. Now here, on the other hand, we should be asserting that editor panels count is 2. Now this is a little bit tougher, so we need to remove the one that's not active. Let's go to basic array unordered remove by index. This is what we want, I think. So we do array unordered remove by index, and this is going to be editor panels. So left is, well, we actually know. So now we know it's 1 thing in there. Now full view is 0. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. No, I think this would, yeah, this asserts if it's out of bounds. This has to work. So something similar we also do for the right case. So we assert there's 2. We remove the one on the right. Haha. It's the other way around. We remove the one that's not active, so like this. Now full view panel index should just be 0 because that's what's left there. Okay, this last part I think still makes sense. We add, yeah, it's pointer. We also need to initialize it. So let's look into that. Init panel. And here. Oh. Well, we also. I guess it's time to do this. Do we do something special for documents? there's like a close document thing, editor document. Okay. Set panel document. Set document, let's do panel init. Editor. We might how do we find the right document? Yeah, we just send all the stuff. We just send well, we can just say, I don't know, panel. Maybe we'll need more stuff later, but we definitely need oh god. Okay. Panel platform we'll unfortunately need as well. A little messy, but it's fine. So panel init panel. Where was it? Oh no. Somewhere in here. Panel, I don't know. Yeah, find it. So we basically need to do this. Make an arena for the highlights. Do that. I guess we can just say panel init editor panel platform. And this can now go away. Panel close. Maybe we should call it it's called open panel. Close panel, and this can stay as it was. Editor panel. How does this know? Oh, because it's no, there's like one thing it knows. Yeah, this is. I wonder if this is what you want to do. It's a little unclear. So for the other things we have that they are kind of like unique, so there's a way of working with them that's just like globally available, and I don't think we can do this here. What do we do? I think again opting for panel init, and let's do panel d init, and let's do panel set document. I don't like this at all because it's like the receiver is not the first thing, and it requires all sorts of other things, maybe we can not force you to pass at all. Make arena out for March, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I just didn't want to necessarily duplicate all the code. And unfortunately, there is some init thing we need to do. And some dinit thing we need to do. So this needs to, well, don't use the panel after this, after calling this. We have to say arena release panel highlights arena. Yeah, so because there's until now only one panel, we didn't really need to think that hard about it, but it's changing a little bit. So for other stuff we have, let me show you. So we have like this open mini panel which like takes all the things, and it's like a very global procedure that changes the entire editor and sets stuff, and that's kind of okay because basically there's also because it's called from like plugin-ish code, so we want to do the correct thing and be easy to call. But I don't think we want to replicate this for panels, which is like basically internal data structures, and you know when you're adding them. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter at all. Okay. So in here I think let's fix the couple compilers first before we continue. Panel set document. Oh, there's one right here. Okay. Now in here, what we need to do is, so see here we add the right panel. All right. We say panel init, right panel platform, and that's basically done. So this always like creates a new one. Now this is going to be removing it. So before we do the actual remove, we want to say panel dinit, and this is editor panels. Well, we don't have a pointer to it after we remove it, so we have to dinit here. That's fine. Could we do something more global here? I don't know. Yeah, and this currently is like weird because it accesses like a lot of global stuff to do local things. I don't think this is necessarily going to be true in the future, where it's like it's going to find itself in the quad tree and then do stuff. So, we'll see. Okay, we do this thing. editor write view panel index, and here we also delete it, but we delete the other one. Okay, so this should be now creating and destroying panels. Do we dare run it? Okay, this crashes. Why does it crash? Okay, editor 724 is what? 724. See, I promised you it will break soon, so now it's breaking. This doesn't make sense. This because it doesn't have a document. Okay, we can fix this. We can fix this. So when we do split, how did we deal with this in it? Yeah, because right here somewhere. Okay, we have to call this. Well, if panels always have to have a document, there's two things we could do about this. One is not enforce that, but I don't know how many places in code actually already assert this. And the other one is like, okay, if you really need to have a document, just provide the document here. Set panel document. So first of all, set panel document like this is, yeah, this just resets some things. It needs the editor there even. This is ugly, but it's okay. This is basically okay. I think we need to clean this up. So first thing is find or add document. Yeah, this is something we want. But I think this procedure basically shouldn't exist and should be inlined in our initialization. Or parts of it should be. So here where we call it is, well, we do not call it and then we say create scratch document, and this can just be, maybe we can later pull it into a different function, but this is what we want to do for now. Okay, so we definitely want this. We don't need any of this stuff or that stuff. We want, I think, this, right? And this is just temporary. This is gonna go away, or at least it's gonna be different. Yeah, this is all like very, very temporary. And now now let's just go with scratch document and move it up. These we can, I think, scope still. Document. Like this. So now we add a panel, and now we basically say you have to take a document when you initialize a panel, because as it currently stands, it just needs to be there. Like, too much code asserts that it is there. So and we'll also need the editor. So it's say, okay, let's take the panel as the first thing, because I think that's the style here. Then let's say editor platform scratch document, I guess. And now when we are in panel init, we are just gonna go and say panel set document, panel editor document. That's fine. This is panel editor platform document is a pointer to a document. Sort of makes sense. Should we be asserting that it's not null? Maybe. Now each panel must have a document. We may later revise this and show some default background or something. And we can, I guess, also wait. So like this. Let's also assert here. I guess I can only assert down there. And then we say time of last interaction. Yeah, but this makes sense. That's here. Okay. So I don't think we'll compile because we changed a bunch of stuff. So let's fix that. So this is panel editor document. Does it require the editor as a pointer? What's the problem? What? Okay. So document active panel editor document active panel editor document. In a couple of places we need to fix this now. Okay, right panel editor platform. Now we recycle the document from the full one. I think there's no other way around this. So we just say editor panels 0 document. This will be pass. Okay, so hopefully now we shouldn't crash when we try to split. Okay, we split. Wow, what's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, look, they are overlaid on top of each other. This is cool. So one of them is active, and as we as we do stuff, the other one is still on the background because we haven't really adjusted the rendering yet. So let's see. Now this is the one on the foreground, and if I switch, now we should be moving the other one. Yes, we are. So this is now on the foreground. Now I switch. Now it's on the background. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Okay. But let's not stop here. Oh, look. This is... let me switch and reset the other one too. So if I scroll ever so slightly, I actually can see the cursor duplicated. Man, this is cool. This is cool. Well, I think I have earned some chocolate. I'll also need to do a bathroom break, so well, I'll be right here. All right, we are back. Let me just make some tea for myself. And the dog is coming into this room. Do we prevent him? Do we let him stay? I think we let him stay if he wants to. Okay, that's the tea. Here's the chocolate. Okay. I think it's time to start adjusting the rendering so we don't overlay it. Just a moment. Okay. So let's try and do that. Let me just shut the door for a bit. Okay. Now we have this thing, get panel for active view. I wonder if it ever comes into play for stuff that is not keyboard centric. I don't think it does, except here. Okay. But wait, this is when exactly? How is this used? I wonder. Oh, I see. It's because these events get their active panel when it comes to it. Right, this is like this routing to a panel selects the panel then and there and then. I don't think we should be selecting it here. Well, at least it doesn't really seem like the code actually uses it until much later. And the thing is, like, handling the events here can actually change what the active panel is. So at least let's get it down here. But on top of that, now it's like super important to see what it's actually used for. Okay, so this is I see, this is zoom. We don't care about this super much. We can just give it any panel and it's gonna be fine. And if you're like fancy, we just give it the one that it's pointing to, and by it I mean the cursor. And then this is much later, which is mouse scrolling. Okay, and here I think we also don't want to do active panel, but we want to do the one that's selected on like by the mouse cursor. Right. So basically this just goes away. We can say hovered panel. And it's going to be a control panel, and we get here. We can say view. We can maybe just say, you know what, get panel for mouse cursor or something like this. Editor input, I don't know, something input probably. And now I don't think there really needs to be one. Maybe there needs to be one. I think we are gonna pick one regardless and not force the code below us to deal with it. So what I'm thinking about is, like, imagine you have the splits here and the mouse is somewhere above the splits. And like, which panel do you pick here? And like, should you always pick one? I think the answer is yes. Even if there's like a mode line thing here, and maybe there's actually like mode line things over here as well, right? Like this, I don't know. Like, even if I'm over the mode line, it basically should snap to a panel always, so that the later code that relies on it never needs to check for null. Yeah, I think this makes sense. So now we have, this is all hovered panel. This all hovered panel. I think this is still all hovered panel. Okay. This is also hovered panel. So is this and this and this and this. Maybe we want to set up a replacing thing. Active panel to hovered panel 1. So it just keeps saying yes. So still doing mouse stuff, still doing mouse stuff, still doing mouse stuff. This is probably still mouse stuff. Okay, this doesn't, I'm gonna cancel here and maybe undo. This, I think, is still mouse stuff. I'm not sure what this is. Oh no, this is still, okay, this is still mouse stuff. including this thing. Now, here we start iterating all the panels, so there shouldn't really be much of active panel anymore, but I'm sure there's gonna be something. Cursor. Okay. Now, what's this thing? Okay, so here we actually want active panel. So maybe, how do I, never mind. So active panel is get panel for active view. Editor, because this basically tells you like whatever you have selected with your keyboard, it just displays some information about that. So I think we want active panel here, and then yes, yes, yes. All keyboard centric. All keyboard centric. Active view, active. Yeah. Okay. So here we need for rendering, but that's basically it. Now the compiler is gonna complain that we don't actually have this get panel for mouse cursor, so now we are gonna do it. Get panel for mouse cursor editor. We get a pointer to a panel. Okay. Now do we, well, okay, if complete return active view is, if full, this is actually easy. Maybe let's do the same structure here. You just say index is editor for the panel index. Now for the other two, maybe we don't need to do it like this. Then full. For the other two, we do, well, do we know the window size? We do. Do we know the mouse position? Okay. Sure. Basically, if, by the way, this should be input, right? I think. Oh, we also need editor. Okay. But I don't think this actually needs it as a pointer. I don't think it ever writes anything. So let's do that. Okay, if input mouse position X is greater than cast F32 input window size X, we say index is editor left, no, sorry, right view panel index. Well, we can be like this, left view panel index. Otherwise, we are gonna say the right view panel index. Okay, we assign in all the branches, that's good. And then I think it's just we can recycle basically. So we start with null. Clamp the index. Do we even need to? Why are we clamping it in the first place? Like this should all be very, very valid. I mean, we can maybe keep this check in, but I don't know about the clamp. The indices should be valid, so that's that. And the same here. Okay, so now that we have that, yeah, we need to pass the editor. Okay. Split the view and do this, and oh, can we join the view is the question. We can, oh my god. Okay, wait, so we are here, we split the view. We go down here, then we change to the other one. Then still working. It's just magical. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, and see, the mouse thing is actually still working. Okay, let's try something. So if we split the view, now we are scrolling one, now we should be scrolling the other one. Doesn't really work, it seems. Yeah, it looks like we are always scrolling the same one. Why is that? Oh, hello, Mr. Bot in the chat. I was waiting for you so that I can ban and report you. Okay, clearly our thing doesn't do the thing. Get active, get panel for mouse cursor. Left. Note you can right. I guess here you can say note you can full. Prepare for some block spam. Okay, we haven't split yet, so it's full. If we split, we get left. We also get left here. So I'm assuming something's not right. This could be like some absolute versus relative coordinates of the window, something like that. I guess we should just look that. What I think I want to log is check-in position as input mouse position. No, this was my fault. .5 times this. I was thinking I must not forget the 0.5. I forgot the 0.5. Okay, full. We split left, right, left, right. So I scroll left, I scroll right. Kind of. I actually can't tell if I'm scrolling the correct thing. I don't think. No, I'm. At least I think I am. It's a little hard to tell. It's a little hard to tell. But pretty soon it's gonna be easy to tell, so that's good. We don't need these anymore. Okay, so now we select that. I guess it's time for us to do rendering stuff. Well, not just rendering stuff. The thing is, we sort of need like the dimensions of the panel. Or something. Maybe let's fix rendering. That's maybe gonna be easier. Okay, so this is immediately not true. The width is actually active view is full is then we have this, but otherwise we have window width times 0.5. Okay. Let's see what that does. But it's not gonna be enough for sure. Split it. It looks like it doesn't do anything yet. Okay. Panel W. Oh, you know what? I just realized there's a cast we didn't need to do. Times Jai actually autocasts this currently, which I'm not a fan of, but we might as well let it. Okay. Where's my 4 panels? Not this one. Panel, update and render. Okay, like this is fine. Document cursor 0 position. Document cursor 0 1 and X. This is, I guess, okay. That's in the document space. Now move cursor to buffer. I see. So this is the rectangle of the panel view. And this is all in document space, I think. So we might just as well let this slide. Okay. There's some animation stuff. Once again, I think these are in document space, so we don't really need to touch them. Except, okay, here's that thing. Did we draw anything yet? No. Here's where we draw. So fine. Fine. I'm gonna say, where's that panel W? We also need panel X, which starts as 0, and a panel Y, which is basically also 0. Maybe we don't actually need this yet, but well, if editor active view is full and this is 0, well, you know what, let's do it the other way. If editor active view so for full, I'm gonna say panel X is 0. For left, we are gonna say panel X is also 0. And then for right, we're gonna say panel X is input window size X times 0.5. And now we just need to apply panel X. So draw rect here. Sure. I'll just say panel X plus, panel X plus. Now in here, layout and draw selection. Dum 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 dum. This is also panel X plus, panel X plus. I hope. A single line selection, multi-line selection. Well, once again, this is just panel X plus. Maybe we should be applying it here. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, this is panel X. This is panel X plus. And this is also panel X. This is panel X plus. Draw matching parentheses highlight. Okay. So in here, I guess panel X plus. I'm just gonna be saying this a lot now. Draw cursor. Okay, here's animation, 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 animation here. So we need to do line rect, which is actually panel W now. It's panel X, and cursor rect is now panel X plus, X plus. I hope. Okay, finally drawing text. So this is, oh god. Wait, we already say the offset here. We might just as well say panel X plus. Okay. What don't you like? This you don't like, okay. Split. And it's not working, I think. Ooh. I don't think this is working, yeah. Well, because this is actually incorrect. I mean, this top part is incorrect. So this definitely starts as 0, but if editor active view is not full and right, and this is like editor right view panel index is it index. You can say panel X is this. This seems more correct to me. Split. And look, we have a split-ish thing. So we have text on the right, we have text on the left. We can scroll the text on the left. We can scroll the text on the right. Isn't life just beautiful? Okay. More chocolate, please. I'm actually surprised that this sort of works. If I scroll them both to the top. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, yeah, the selection, it's work in progress. It's work in progress. Okay, I think the next thing I would like to see is having some sort of culling for these. So currently, I think these are being called by the GPU. Which is not necessarily a bad way to do it. But do we want to do that? Because there's gonna be work we can save by doing the call ourselves. Let me show you. So we have this font stuff here, which has font layout and draw text, and then inside of that it fills these guys, apart from other things. And if we do software calling ourselves, we'll just fill less stuff, we'll send less stuff to the GPU. Like, to me it seems like a better option than setting some kind of scissor rect on the GPU, to be honest. And also this like saves work because there's this loop that you are going through. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't really, because well, you don't have to do this if you're not visible. And you don't have to do this if you're not visible. And you don't have to do this if you're not visible. some of this. I need to remind myself what this code does exactly. So I mean, it goes over the text and advances and rasterizes on the go, and that's like okay, but okay, this is the vertical advance. This is okay. I forgot. This is style ranges. We don't care about this right now. Okay. Now here we get the glyph index. Okay, the problem here is we'd like to avoid this rasterization here for stuff that's off screen. We currently don't. And in the naive pass I'm going to do over this, we are also not going to avoid it. This is gonna happen no matter what. And by off screen I mean to the right or left. We already do vertical calling. So unfortunately this is going to happen because this is, we would have to split the loading of the glyph and the rendering of the glyph. I'm gonna leave a comment for us to do that, because we could definitely save stuff there. But otherwise, we, as far as this code is concerned, we actually do the full render, and we think our glyph is going to end up on the screen. However, over here we do the call. Okay, so I guess we have to complete this ahead of time. Let's say just R is rect from, well, it's this thing, right? Now, like this. And we have a if true that. And now, of course, this is not going to be an if true pretty soon. Basically, we need to see if this is visible in a viewport. So I guess we have to pass the viewport. We have to pass the viewport somewhere. Offset. Well, okay. What's offset used for? I don't honestly know. Oh, I know, because this starts in font space. Okay, viewport is a rect. And also here, so there's a viewport and it's a rect. And we have to send it down, viewport. Okay. Now in here, we are gonna say if rect contains viewport R. Let's see if this actually exists. Is there a math? Is there a rect contains? There is. Okay. Rect contains vector. Rect contains rect. So there actually isn't. R is rect. Other is. What do we do? What do we name them if there's two? Nothing currently. Okay, let's just call it other. Rect. So we can copy the general structure of this, but basically other x0 has to be like this. Other x1 has to be like this. I was wondering about the exclusivity here, but let's just keep it from the other one. So here it's other y0 has to be like this, and other y1 has to be like this, I think. Well, these actually require fix-up, but yeah, I don't know. Let's not get derailed by that. I'll just leave comments here. And by fix-up, I mean the rect structure is actually pretty loose, so the max can be lower than the min. This is such that we can actually like safely deserialize and not have any assumptions, but then the operations on that have to make sure they understand that and account for that. And then maybe there's like unsafe versions or like raw versions of the operations that assume the fix-up has been done or isn't necessary. So right now we are actually just doing the raw version. That's fine. I don't think we ever create a rect that's not good. Rect contains rect. And I think it's going to complain in a couple of places, because here we have to say what the viewport is. Let's call it. Oh god, that's not good. Oh, maybe this is. I mean, this is for the interaction, but we'll just use something like this. Viewport rect. Oh god. Viewport rect. Is this still visible down there? I don't think it is. Okay, so this to do is actually done by this. Rect is something like panel X 0 panel W panel H. What do you mean style ranges? Okay. Well, we might maybe inline it here. So this is yeah, this is like basically 0 0 window with window H. And I just realized we actually want a slightly looser version of this, which is rect intersects rect, right? So this just means we say intersects. So if they're sorted, let's drop this out actually. So if one is like this, others like this intersects. Also, if one is like this and the other is like this, they intersect. So I think we just ask for the negative case here, which is other x 0 is greater than, it's going to be noted by the way, x0 is written current x1 or other x1 is smaller than current x0. I'm not sure I got this right. Let me just type it in and we'll verify. Okay. So if this is x0, x1, and this is x0, x1, well, let's draw the case that they usually don't intersect. So it's like this, and then it's like this. Excuse me, my partner has left the apartment, and this made my dog very upset. So we get a little bit of dog time. But maybe that's actually better. Is the dog visible on camera? Hey doggy. So here's the doggo, which has serious abandonment issues. He just needs his flock together. So we'll calm him down, and more messages below. I don't think there are. We'll calm him down, and then he can go to sleep next to us. The doggo, who is for sure not misusing that he has such trusting and empathetic owners, right? Right? I needed a break anyway. Pixel, this hurts. No. Pixel ku mnie. Yes. All right. So we've been going for over 2 hours, and we are making progress. That's good, but I'm feeling like my brain isn't really gonna be able to handle this much longer. So maybe let's see if we can finish the culling thing and then we stop, or if we go for 3 hours and we still haven't finished the culling, then we just stop. And I eat my last chocolate. Okie doke. So over here, what's the situation? It's x0, it's x1. This is x0, is x1. See what state my brain is in. I have to draw this out just so that I know. Okay, other x0. Pixel miesto. Miesto. He's just been to a hotel for 5 days and he returned very, well, wild. So we have to remind him how stuff works. Now once he starts chilling, like actually chilling, then I'll let him go. Okay. So other x0 greater than x1, or in the other case, other x1 less than current x0. And we not that. Is this correct? I'm gonna peek into, because I don't trust myself anymore, I'm gonna peek into my math library. Look, there's x2, we have intersects. Okay, so this is self x, b max x. I guess it's just saying what we are saying, only it says so without the negation. So self x Oh, I see what it's saying. So both. So this has to be smaller or equal to this. And this has to be. I guess this makes sense. Yeah, I like this formulation more. I'm just gonna type that one in. So this is like, you know what, let's just do r x0 is smaller or equal to other x1 and r x1 is greater or equal to other x0, and we repeat that for y. Okay, good. We can remove the last code. Save whatever that means. Rect contains rect contains vector rect intersects rect. This is intersects it's just like this. Okay, like this. Okay, this is for the mini panel. I don't think this needs any particular calling just yet, so let's just do 0, 0 window width, window height. This is for the items. I would say same thing, so this is 0, 0 window W, window H. This is for the model interaction, same thing. We don't need to call these super careful, it's just small data. Window W, window H. Same thing here. 0, 0 window W, window H. Okay, does it work? So here's the unsplit view, now we split the view. It kind of does something. Okay, for some. Oh, okay, for sure we have problems, but like this seems to be around the middle of the screen, so that seems okay. Now you're here. The question is, oh, the offset is wrong. Let's fix the offset. So when we port rect, is it? Well, the offset should be, oh, the offset is wrong. So here is offset. But we say panel X here. So I wonder what the actual problem is. Let's viewport y0. Well, this is for now correct, but eventually won't be. Oh my god, it's super warm in this room. Okay, let's just try and finish this. And I'll open the door. So we get some cold air. Okay. Well, panel X we do have here. So we pass to the offset. We pass it here. I guess I want to know. We can do it down here, it's fine. Offset is this. Viewport is this. Offset viewport rect. This is exactly as you would think. So now we do the split. So we are on the left. No, but this doesn't matter. We actually render both. We actually render both. One. Why are we calling everything here? Or are we just moving it off screen is the question. Yeah, it seems to... Well, I mean, all of this can be like super wrong, but... Oh. Okay. Why do we sometimes get something? What's this? Oh, is it like super scrolled somewhere? Why do we just get the R from here? I'm sorry, the dog is having a bad time. I need to handle him. Give me a sec. All right. Why do we just get the R? I mean, to be more precise, why do we just always get the fourth row? And nothing else? This seems... Oh, okay. Easy. Easy. My fault. So... This is not how you make a rect. This is a min-max rect, not a point size rect. So we just say rect from point what is it called? From point and yeah, and size, and pass these in, and it's gonna be good. Maybe. Okay. Seems better. Seems better. Which one are we controlling? This one. Can we go to the other one? Yes, we can. I mean, it's not perfect. Actually, I would say this is very bad, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know why the selection is doing this. The one on the right is correct. It seems to be. But yeah, I mean, we have two panels. We can do stuff in the panels. Hello from the right panel. Hi, I'm in the left panel. So, I mean, what more do we want, really? Well, we want stuff. Okay. I think this is a good place to end. We got somewhere. Of course, it looks like shit. We need like padding on in places. We need. Is this line actually full, or is this just like a bug? Yeah, okay, does basically on the left one seems to mostly work. And by mostly, I mean, well, the selection is not called, for instance. Maybe we don't want to render the selection. What does Emacs do? If we open the same thing twice. Nah. Okay, like somehow some things leak through, like, you know, this parentheses highlight thing, but otherwise you can just. So maybe we want to duplicate that, so you can select in one and not the other. You know. Also, I think this actually, even though we are on the right one, we are actually selecting on the left one. There's stuff to fix, so let's put it mildly. But we'll get there. Alright, we'll stream some more tomorrow. But otherwise, this is it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you got something out of it, something out of this. I know I got something out of this, so yeah, that's that. I don't see anyone in the chat really, so I'm assuming there's no questions. Anyway, take care, people. Have a good life. See you later.